Welcome to the Path to Purpose interview show, where we share our unique and universal stories about finding and fulfilling our purpose. My name is Katja and I'm your host and a mentor for Lightworkers. The purpose for this show is to inspire you on your path to purpose. And today I have a pleasure to interview my dear friend Stella Estevez, who is an expert practitioner in bringing to reality your dreams of wealth, prosperity, riches for the highest good of all concerned. Stella is a psychologist, consultant, and coach with more than 20 years of direct experience with people from around the world and has helped them to bring more money into their lives. So let's find out more about Stella's path, and I will also ask her best tips how to manifest possibilities to live life beyond the ordinary and expand our abundance. So we are up here for a treat. So let's get started. So welcome, Stella. I'm so excited to have you here. So could you...
Thank you, Katja. I am so excited too. This is fantastic.
So could you please tell us a little bit more about you and also where you are located? So let's put you on the map too.
Sure. So for once, you and I are on the same continent, though not in the same country exactly. Today, I am in Tenerife. I am in the house of my dad. I came to visit him because this week it was his 90th birthday, 90, and we were all together to come and celebrate with him. So we were very excited. And yeah, it's been fantastic. So I've been thinking a lot about this conversation with you, and it's been very valuable actually doing it. I started being the daughter of immigrants. My parents went to Venezuela running away from the war in Europe and Franco and all of the hunger and the strife there. And they started from scratch a new life in the land of opportunity. You know, the Americans seen as the land of opportunity at that time. And one of the things that I have always done really well, and I was not even aware that was one of my abilities, is I always felt very comfortable in dreaming big, having these amazing dreams, and being fearless and trust. You know, like whatever I wish for, it would come true. I guess it was the influence of Disney and all of those stories that Walt Disney created for the kids at that time. And I knew for sure that whatever I wish upon a star was gonna become true. And so that started my journey. And as I was growing up, I was wishing for different things. Depending on my age, I wished for a bicycle and I got it. I wished for a very special birthday party when I became 15 and I got it, dressed like a princess, dancing the waltz with my dad and with my boyfriend, and so on and so on and so on. I have lots of stories of miracles. And then I realized that it is not the same for everybody else. Some people do not allow themselves to dream, or when they dream about something really small, basically because of the fear of disappointment, that if they wish for something big and then it doesn't happen, then they feel worse than if they had never asked for anything. So that got me into this journey. Again, at that time, I was not really aware that that's what I was doing. I am an explorer. I am a traveler. When I was 11 years old, I made a list of the countries that I wanted to visit. Not so much the countries, but the places like the pyramids in Egypt and the Eiffel Tower in France and so on. And by the time I was about 20, I had already visited all of them.
Wow.
And so Yeah, I was a powerful creator. Again, not having a clue what I was doing. Eventually, I graduated in psychology and I wanted to do a PhD. I wanted to learn English. I wanted to do it in Europe. Making a long story short, I ended up at Oxford University in England. And I was one of the youngest PhD graduates. I finished before I was 25. And that got me into my next dream, which was, okay, what do I want to learn next? I've traveled all over the world. I've done my highest possible level of education. What's next? And then I decided that I wanted to learn how do global businesses function. How
Mm.
do they make, with so many thousands of people working for them in different cultures, different countries, how do they become successful? What does it look like to be a leader of such an organization? And again, making a long story short, I ended up in some of the top 500 companies in the world, doing very executive senior roles in leadership development, coaching, human resources, talent management, working with everybody from all over the world. It was fantastic. And
Wow.
then came one of those moments, it's like I ran out of dreams. So now what, I don't want to go to the moon. So what am I going to do next? And it was interesting because I realized that I did not want to continue doing what I had been doing before, but I didn't know what else I wanted to do. And so I went into kind of like a limbo state,
Hmm.
and I felt like in a standby mode. And that was around, I would say, the end of 2013, 2014. And that was one of the most important times in my life because it forced me to reflect on what I had done or not done in the past and what was my life going to be all about moving forward. And that's how I got into manifesting possibilities. I realized I had a lot to offer. I didn't want to continue working in big global corporations, and yet I wanted to share some of my gifts. And then I realized that one of my gifts is I know how to make things happen, things that some people may think are impossible, and yet they came true for me in my life many different ways throughout my history. And so I started learning and studying and going deeper inside of me to figure out, what exactly was my purpose. And one of the most important things that happened before that was I came across Insight. I did all of the trainings in Insight. And then I came across John Roger, and he became a very influential, very important person in my life.
Hmm. So maybe share.
And that opened my spiritual path.
Yeah. So maybe sharing with people who are not familiar with John Roger is a spiritual teacher, and Insight is
Sure.
a seminar where you can learn personal development. So
Yes. Yes, yes. However, I have a funny story. I mean, all of that is correct. And I have a funny story about that. When the first time the movies, Star Wars came out and Yoda was in the movie, and Yoda was, teaching John Luke how to become a Jedi master, how to connect with the Force, and how to do all of those amazing things. I said, I want to have a Yoda in my life. And years later, when I met JR, he's exactly like Yoda. He looks exactly like Yoda. Somebody told me actually that they use JR's face to design the face of Yoda. So even that one, I ended up with my own personal Yoda.
that's so fun. And again, you
Yes,
manifest something, you
yes.
manifested what you were looking for.
Yes, yes, yes. So one of the things that this is connecting to one of these very important lessons that I have learned in this path. One of the things that I heard JR said many years ago is that money is the mirror of consciousness. I had no clue what that meant. It's like, so I'm not sure. And I, because I like prosperity, I like riches, I like happiness. I like when people have money, including me, we feel like, okay, we can do things. We can deliver whatever the gifts we want to deliver to our loved ones. We can help somebody go to school. You know, when we have money, we can make all of those things happen. And I like that. I became very interested in how do we manifest that? How do we open that channel or that a source so that all of this abundance can come through? And as I kept on thinking throughout the years, what does that mean? The money is the mirror of our consciousness. And now with all of the advances in this area and beliefs and values, you know, Joe Dispenza and all of the amazing work that he has done, and the people working on the intention experiment, and so I could go forever talking about all of these amazing people in the world these days. I realized that we don't attract what we want, we attract what we are.
Oh,
And
that is a very, very important point you are making there. Like, I love
yes,
here. I just want to pause for people like listen to that again because
yes, we attract who we are, we don't attract what we want. When what we want and who we are not aligned, it's not going to happen. And when what we don't want to attract is aligned with who we are, it is going to come into our lives. So we have to be very clear on exactly how do we change so that we attract what we really want to attract in our lives.
So, because I know you do coach and mentor people how to manifest, that is your
Yes,
specialty. So how do you,
yes.
like, is this the starting point, like taking a look what they want, or do you have a special process there?
Sure. I usually start by, I've been working with a lot of people that are either in business, they are starting their business, they want to create a business out of nothing. They basically want to bring more prosperity, more wealth, more abundance in their life. And so the first conversation is around money. What do they feel towards money? What do they believe about money? And clarifying why do they want to have more money in their lives? What is that money for? If there is a purpose, the money will come. If there is no purpose, the money will not necessarily show up. And then once they are clear that they do want to have that experience, that process, then we talk about what is it that they want to manifest in their life. Is it grow their business? Is it money to send somebody to school? Is it paying their debts and getting that to zero? Is it launching a new product or a new service that is going to transform the lives of other people? Whatever it is. Once that is clear, then we go through the process of, is there alignment between what they want to manifest in terms of this money for these means and who they are? And most of the time, there is no alignment. There is not 100% alignment. And that's the reason why they are interested in talking with me. And the misalignment could be due to several things. One of them is, the simplest one is, they have everything to do it, but they don't take action. And they don't take action usually because they are afraid of their success. And let me give you a personal example of myself.
Yes, please.
When I started with my own business in 2014, I was doing very little coaching every week. I was doing like 1 or 2 sessions only a week, because later on I realized I did not want to go back to working 60, 80 hours a week when I was working for big global corporations. And so without me becoming aware of it, I was restricting the number of hours that I was allowing myself to work so that I would not go back to that. So success for me meant I would be working again 24/7. And I
Yeah.
did not want to regret that.
And that is a key point as well for us, anyone who's listening, to take a look of what we want. Because sometimes in our mind, we say this
Mm-hmm.
is what we want.
Right.
And there might be this like part of us might not want to do it because
Right.
there is reasons like you did not want to go back to working those excessive hours. So then you kind of put a block on your own manifestation, even though that was what
That's
you wanted.
it. That's it. And that is a personal example. I have many examples, different examples from my clients.
Mm.
Then once the action piece is clear, one of the most tricky ones to deal with is our unconscious beliefs. By definition, they are unconscious. And Bruce Lipton and others have demonstrated that 95% of what we do every day is unconscious. So that's pretty amazing. It's like we create all of these programs, especially before we are 7 years old. And even like when we learn how to drive, we do it without even thinking. We go from one place to the next. There was no crash. We don't remember what happened in the in-between, which is, good in some cases. Um, so we go back into, okay, if you say that you want to create this amazing thing, and you do all of these appropriate actions and it's not happening, there is some interference happening there. And the interference is usually from our own unconscious mind. And once we start going into what is it that we believe that is not aligned with what we want to create, then it will happen. So for example, I had a client that was doing everything right to continue expanding his business. His business was already pretty good, but he wanted to take it to the next level. And nothing that he tried worked when it's supposed to work. I mean, it was like marketing plans, sales plans, everything was perfect, and yet he was not getting additional clients. And we started going deeper and deeper into what's blocking you from that. And then he remembered that he had made a promise to himself when he was 11 years old, because at that time his parents got divorced because he thought his dad was doing a lot of work outside of the home. And when we are little, everything is about us. We are the center of the world. And so he thought that his parents had gotten divorced because of him, and that it was because his dad was always working outside of home to bring all the money so that he could go to school and he could have the clothes and so on and so on. And then we went back to, okay, you are now not 11 years old. Let's revisit the whole situation. Can you have a conversation with your dad? Can you have a conversation with your mom as a grown up? And he did. And then he realized that it was mostly his own imagination giving meaning to a circumstance from his perspective, but it was not the reality of what had happened at the time. As a result of all of that, and then he realized also that he had a 10-year-old son, was going to be soon enough 11, and he believed unconsciously that if he had this new business, this much bigger size of business, he was going to recreate in his life the divorce and the losing of his son that he had experienced when he was younger.
Wow.
Once all of that was clear, he didn't have to change anything. Magically, everything started to work, and he basically doubled the size of his business in less than a year.
Yeah, because it's a lot also with the energy that we
Yes,
put in. Like, even though we are doing the right actions, like
yes,
he had his plans, he did the right actions, but then the energy wasn't aligned. Like, it was like,
right.
it's kind of like pushing the accelerator and brake at the same time.
Right, exactly. That's the perfect example or analogy for that is doing the accelerator and the brake at the same time. You don't move and you are tired by the end of the day.
It's a bumpy road.
Exactly right, exactly right. And then the last, I would say, main component of the whole thing is the emotions. One of the reasons why when we do any of those techniques, affirmations or practice the secret or any of the things that are already out there that we know that work to some level, the reason why they don't work 100% is because there needs to be alignment between what we do and what we think, but also how we feel about the whole thing that we're trying to manifest.
Mm.
So I repeat, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich, but there is no feeling there, or actually there is the fear of, oh my God, if I am rich, I must be a bad person, because that's the belief that I unconsciously have. I'm not going to enjoy the experience, the imaginary experience of being rich is not going to happen. The three things have to be aligned: the action, the emotion, and the thought. And the emotion is the one that I find is more difficult for people to connect with, because think about it, if you have always been poor, you don't know what it feels like being rich.
Mm.
And I come and ask you, okay, I want you to imagine being rich. How does that feel? I have no clue, right? And so that's another part of the work that I do with my clients. We go step by step, and we say things like, okay, what does it mean for you being rich? Being able to buy yourself an ice cream every afternoon, being able to buy you the house that is 4,000 square meters with a balcony overlooking the ocean. What does it mean for you being rich? And once we go deeper into that, they can go for something that they can connect with from an emotional point of view. And then it is easier to feel, wow, this is how wonderful it feels when I have these things, and everything comes alive. And then it happens.
Yeah, because actually it starts with, like, everything starts within, and you
Yes,
can already have that feeling, even though
yes,
it hasn't manifested outside of you, but you
yes,
start feeling. That's what I
yes,
like. Okay, let's start there. Let's start
yes,
connecting.
yes.
What does it really mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not only the money, like the cost of paper. It's that doesn't really do it for most of us. It's what we want
Right,
beyond. Like we say, we want
right,
money, but
right.
it's actually what you can get with the money more.
Exactly right. And you hit on the nail of the whole thing, Katja. You know, finally, I got it. It's like, okay, it clicked on me. Why is it that the money is a mirror into our consciousness? And
Mm.
it's exactly because of that. Is the money for something?
Yeah.
Is the money because I want to have, for example, the freedom to do whatever I want to, whenever I want to. Like if I have enough money to travel every week to a different place, or if I have the money to buy the house of my dreams and not have to work for it, or if I have the money to pay all of my debt, you know, any of those things. And it is also the money as a reflection of another typical belief, which is about worthiness. So the more money I have, it means that I'm successful. It means that I deserve to be paid the best. It means that somebody likes me very much because they are paying good money for my services or my products. It means that I am loved because everybody wants to be my friend. So if we are not clear what is that money representing in our consciousness, we get lost in the looking for the piece of paper or the metal thing versus what is that money really represent to us.
Mhm.
You hit it right there.
And so many as well, what you were just talking now, like connecting the self-worth with the
Yeah.
net worth.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
then if they don't have the money they are looking for, then it starts affecting their self-confidence and how worthy they feel.
Right. 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 Right.
So
Right.
that's the
Right.
thing, aspect to
Right.
look. And of course, the society often is supporting this this,
Yes.
this belief in
Yes.
a way
Yes.
working
Yes.
now, but that is two different things.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
are and what you have.
Yes, and you hit into another something very important insight or lesson learned from me. I was again, I went into this trip from, let's say, total unconsciousness to more aware, and every day hopefully more awake and more aware. There was a time where I would look at the commercials in the TV and I would say, oh wow, I want to live like they live. They're happy, they're beautiful, they have everything they want to, everybody loves each other. It's like these dreams that they sell us in the commercials, whether it's in TV or any digital or non-digital channel. They are always bombarding us with the same messages. And then I realized, wait a second, it's the other way around. They are trying to sell us their products and their services. There's nothing wrong with that. And they are appealing at what we really want. And we get confused thinking that what we really want to manifest in our lives can only come if we buy those things, which is not true. That's the illusion that is being created. It's like the leader cannot be a leader without followers. The followers need to realize, wait a second, if I don't follow, this person is not a leader. It's not that this is all powerful and I am the victim here. It's a two-way street. And that changed completely my way of looking at life.
Wow, that is a powerful shift. So now, if somebody's there listening and, hey, I want to manifest and get what I want and manifest more money, manifest more freedom, whatever that is for them. So, what would you say? Of course, I would recommend contact Stella. But if people start on their own, so how can they do it? What could be the first step that they could do right now?
Yes. The first step is usually the most difficult, paradoxically, and it is clarifying what is it that they want. Because we say, oh, I want more money. More money for what? How much more money? When would you know that you have achieved it? And when we start going down those, questions, things become clear. So I would say every day answer 4 questions, and you don't have to do them all. But like if you revisit them every day, you may realize today I'm going to focus on the second one, or I have already cleared the first one, let's go to the third, or I've already achieved something here. So, but it's like the 4 questions, and the 4 questions, and write them in a piece of paper so that you can track what is going on inside of you. It's a way of making yourself more conscious. Is who do you want to be? And it's not necessarily who do you want to be when you grow up. It's like, who do you want to be today? For example, do I want to be a guru that is giving presentations to a stadium full of 3,000 people? No, I'm answering about myself. So what is it that you want to be, or who do you want to be? What do you want to have? Do you want to have like a house? Do you want to have a car? What is it that you want to have? What is it that you want to achieve? What is it that you want to achieve in terms of what is it that you want to do? And the last one is, who do you want to share with, and what do you want to share with them? So for example, I am now more preoccupied in the sense of more focused on what do I want to share with whom. I am not so interested so much in the what do I want to have. It's like I've had a lot of things that I really wanted to have, been there, done that. Now I am more interested in what do I want to do and who do I want to share it with. And every day can change. But if you start going through that, it will start clarifying money for what, how much money, and yes, please talk to me. I would love to work with you.
Those, thank you for sharing. Those are super, super powerful questions. And you can even come here as well if you want to listen again and again, those questions directly from Stella. And if somebody is now, okay, thank you for sharing those. I do want to work with you. What is the best way for them to contact you?
Any which way. They can contact me directly through my email, which feel free to share with them. They can go through my LinkedIn page and connect with me through LinkedIn. They can go to my Facebook page and connect to me through there. I usually like to have a complimentary session or two, coaching session or two with with a person, like 1 hour, 2 hours, with a period of time in between, so that the person gets a sense of value for them immediately of the interaction with me. And I also get to see whether the person is ready to do the work they need to do in order to manifest whatever they want to in their lives. Sometimes people say, I want to do this, but they don't really want to commit themselves to doing their own work. And so I love them, and yet I want to spend my time with somebody that is ready to do the work. So any of those things would be the best way to do it.
And I will put all of those to the description below. And Mo, thank you for offering that complimentary session to Jess. That is so powerful itself. So I definitely would encourage you highly to say yes to that offer. Just contact Stella, because that is precious thing she just offered to you. So thank you for that. And now we are starting to wrap up this lovely interview, which has been so much value, and I have also learned so much through this conversation that we have. And I'd love to ask you, do you have a special message that you would like to still share in the end now?
Special message. Dream big. We all deserve the pursuit of happiness. It's not just an American thing. It's in the Constitution of the American thing, but it's not just the American thing. Everybody should be happy. Everybody deserves to be wealthy. Everybody deserves to love and be loved. Dream big. Don't limit yourself. The only limitation is whatever we believe in. So change that.
Yay! Thank you. Dream big. So thank you, Stella. Thank you for your time and all that you do. You are such a shiny light here in the world, and people get so much help and support from you. So thank you for taking this time to have this interview with us. And thank you for watching the Path to Purpose interview show. If you want support on your path, you can also join the Lightworkers Who Succeed on Purpose community, which is in Facebook. And I am sending you so much light and love. Keep shining your light and sharing your gifts and succeeding on purpose. And do also subscribe to this channel so you will get a notification when the next Path to Purpose interview is up. Thank you. And
thank you. Bye-bye.